Okay, so in our just a previous session, we have learned about addition, subtraction, and a little bit about multiplication. It's kind of like multiplication in between 0 to 9 numbers. As an example, if you are going to calculate 121 times 6, that will be 620 times 6, it will be equal to 120. So it will be 720, it will be 6, right? So 726, right? So this is how we do that calculation from our mind. If you don't understand anything, don't worry. This previous session and this session will be provided as a recorded video for you, so that you can learn these things from at any time, right? As well as if you don't understand anything, you can ask me questions and we can continue that, right? And this course will be happening up to that 14th May. Every Sunday, Saturday and Sunday it will happen. So we have the next session on tomorrow at 8 p.m. So please be on time and join. Also share these things about your friends and family so that they can also learn from our course, right? So you can share that link and the group invitation so that they can join our group and then they can learn from our course, right? Okay, now we are going to learn how we can calculate any number by 10, right? As an example, if we are going to calculate something like 45 times 10, what will be the answer? Yeah, the answer will be 45, and we have to add that 0, that will be 450. Yeah, of course, I am kidding. So the calculation of 10, whatever the multiplication by 10, it will be simple as adding a 0, right? Likewise, the same technique will be applied for 11 as well. Same, like you after learning this technique, you can say that, oh, is that very easy like this? You will ask that question. Of course, it's very easy, right? So let me explain that. If we are going to multiply 45 times 11, what we have to do is we have to see the final number, that will be 5, and then that 5 will come over here. Very simple. And then after, we have to add 5 plus 4, that near numbers, we have to add them together. So then that answer will be 9, right? So that 9 has come unintentionally. So let me do like this, right? So we have to see and write that 5 over here. And then we have to add this 4 plus 5, that will be equal to 9. And then we have to see and write that particular first number, which will be 4. That is how we do the multiplication by 11. Very simple, right? So as an example, if I provide you another example, like 50, maybe 56 times 11, what will be the answer? We have to see and write that 6 over here. And then we have to add this 6 plus 5, that will be 11. So we cannot write 11 over here. We only have to write 1, and the 10th one, that means that another one will be a reminder. And then after, we have to see and write that 5 over here. But when we are adding that, we have to make sure that we have to add this 1 from this 5, right? So that the answer will be 6. So then 56 times 11, that will be equal to 616. Very simple, right? Let me provide you some more examples. Okay. So what will be 67 times 11? Can anyone answer that? 700 and how much? How much was that? Yeah, I think Okay, so what's the answer?
737.
37. Yeah. How did you do that? It's very simple. We have to write 7 over here. 7 plus 6, that will be equal to 13. So only 3 will come over here and 1 will be a reminder. And then we have to write down that 6, but we have to make sure that we have to add this 1. So 6 plus 1, that will be 7. So then the answer will be 737. It's very simple. Likewise, what will be 4324 times 11? What will be the answer for this? Can anyone say that? 40,000? How much? 40,000 or 47,000? How much? Very simple. We have to write that 4 over here. 4 plus 2, 6. That will come over here. 2 plus 3, that will come over here. 3 plus 4, that will come over here. That will be the answer, right? No. Sometimes I see that some of my students are making this mistake, right? That is, we don't have to forget to write this one, right? We have to recall this 4 that we have written that as it is 4. Likewise, we have to apply that same thing. That first number should also be written as it is, right? So we have to make sure that we have to add, we have to write that number. It's very important, right? Right. Okay. So let me clear all these things. So hope you understand this one. If you don't understand anything, you can ask me question. Right. Now we are going to learn how we can calculate the numbers that are relying in between 12 to 19. In this technique, we have to focus one thing, that is, from the previous techniques that we have learned on the multiplication, the first number should not have to be within that range, right? The first number can be whatever the number. But in this case, in this particular technique, both the numbers should rely in between these two things. As an example, if we are going to multiply 245 times 12, the technique will not going to work over here, right? The technique will not going to work over here. Both the numbers may be 13 times 12. Okay, this one will work, right? Likewise, both these two numbers should rely in between these things, right? Then only it will work. As an example, maybe if we are going to calculate 12 times 13, what we have to do is, the technique is, we have to multiply this 3 times 2. So 3 times 2, that will be equal to 6, right? So that 6 will come over here. And then after, we have to add this 3 plus 2, that will be equal to 5, right? And then 1 times 1 will come over here. So 1 times 1, that will be equal to 1. So then that will come over here. So that the answer will be 156, right? So hope you get the idea about that one. As an example, if we are going to multiply 14 times 15, it's very simple. We have to multiply this number 5 times 4. That will be equal to 0. Why 0? It will be 20. We have to write only that 0, and then the 2 will be a reminder, right? And then after, we have to add these two numbers, 5 plus 4, right? 5 plus 4 will be equal to 11, right? from that 11, we have to add that remainder. So 11 plus 2, that will be 13. So that, yeah, sorry, I made a mistake. 5 plus 4 is which is equal to 9, right? So 9 plus 2, that remainder will be 11. So for that, we have to write only 1, and another 1 will be a remainder. And then we have to multiply that 1 times 1, that will be equal to 1. Then after we have to add that remainder. So then it will result in 2, right? Hope you get the idea about that one. So can you answer this question? How can you do that? 13 times 13. Can you answer this? First of all, we have to multiply this and this, right? So 3 times 3, 9. Then we have to add this and this. 3 plus 3, that will be 6. And then we have to multiply this and this. So then it will be 1. So the answer will be 169. Simple, right? Right. If
Sir, can you explain this technique, please?
Yeah, maybe. As an example, if you are going to multiply 14 times 12, it's very simple. You have to make sure that both the numbers should rely in between this range, right? Otherwise, it will not going to work. If those two numbers are relying in between this range, what we have to do is we have to multiply these two numbers together. 4 times 2. Multiply. Right? We have to multiply 4 times 2. That will be 8. And then we have to add those two numbers. 4 plus 2, that will be equal to 6. And then 1 times 1, we have to multiply this and this. So then 1 times 1, of course, this technique that we are learning over here will be relying between these two things, right? So then definitely 1 times 1 will come over here, and we know that 1 times 1 will be 1, right? So 1 times 1 will be 1. So the answer will be 168. Yeah, if you understand anything, you can ask me a question. Rismi, what is your question? Okay. So did you understand that? No. Did you
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. So now we are going to learn the next technique, that this technique can be called as multiplying any 2-digit number, right? Whatever the 2-digit number will suit for this one. As an example, if you are going to multiply these two numbers, whatever 2-digit numbers, it's very simple. We have to multiply 21 times 32. Let's do that in a regular way, right? So regular way, we knew that 1 times 2 will be 2. And then 2 times 2, we have to multiply this and this together. So then that will be equal to 4. And then after, we have to multiply this 3 and 1, that will be equal to 3. And then we have to multiply this 3 and 2, that will be 6. Then after, we have to add 2. 4 plus 3, that will be equal to 7, like 7. So 672 will be the answer. This is the regular way, right? Let's learn the technique for this one. It's very simple, right? The technique is simple. If we are going to multiply the same numbers, 21 times 32, it will be very easy, right? First of all, what we have to do is we have to multiply that first digit and the second digit like this. 1 and 2 will be multiplied together, right? What will be the answer? The answer will be 2. That 2 will come like this over here. And then after, what we have to do is we have to cross multiply those numbers and add them together. As an example, if we are going to cross multiply, we have to multiply this and this. We have to multiply them. And then we have to multiply this and this, cross multiply these two numbers, right? After cross multiplying those things, finally, we have to add them together, add all those things, right? Let me do that. So 2 times 2, that will be 4, right? And then 1 times 3, that will be 3. Now we have to add them together. So 4 plus 3, that will be equal to 7. So that 7 will come over here. After doing that, we have to do that first thing, what we have done for these two, we have to do that same thing for this one as well, right? We have to multiply these 2 and 3 together. If we do that, the answer will be 6. It's very simple. We can write the answer in one line. We don't have to write these things, right? It's very simple. We can answer those questions, right? Let me provide you another example so that we can get to know about this technique further. Okay. Let's say how much is 22 times 31? What will be the answer? Simple. Let's say we have 4 numbers, like 1 number, 2 number, and this number and this number. Let's say we have these 4 numbers, 2-digit numbers, and this one is also a 2-digit number. We have to multiply them together, right? If we are going to do that, first of all, we have to multiply this and this. So these 2 numbers should be multiplied together, and the answer will come over here. You write like this, right? And then after, we have to cross multiply this and this, and this and this. And then after, we have to add them together. After adding that, the answer will come over here, that the middle digit, right? After that, we have to multiply this and this, right? These first 2 numbers should be multiplied together, and then the answer will come over here, right? That is how we do that, right? So let me do that. 22 multiplied by 31. The answer will be 2 times 1. That will be equal to 2, right? And then we have to cross multiply together, right? Cross multiply those numbers. Like 2 will be multiplied by 1. That will be equal to 2. I am writing this, but you don't have to write.
6,082.
Yeah. And then we have to multiply these 3 and 2 together. So that will be 6. Now we have to add these 2 numbers together. So that will be 8. So that 8 will come over here. After that, we have to multiply this number and this number. So then 2 times 3, that will be 6. Very simple, right? Can anyone answer this question? 42 times 22, what will be the answer? It's very simple, huh? 4, 8, 2, 1, so 9. Is this correct? Can you check and let me know, is this correct or not?
Yes, sir.
Okay. It's very simple. We have to multiply this and write it. Then cross multiply. 4 times 2, that will be 8. 2 times 2, that will be 4. So 8 plus 4 will be 12. But we have to only write 1 digit over here. So then 2 will come over here. 1 will be a reminder. And then 4 times 2, that will be 8. And then we have to add that reminder. And then the answer will become as 9. Right? It's very simple. Let me provide you a complex example so that you will answer that. Maybe 35. What is the answer? 0, 2, 7 times 5. How much? 35. 35 plus 2, 37. 4 times 3, that will be 12. So 37 plus 12. 37 plus 12. How can you add that? We have to do that method, right? We have to follow that arrow method. Then only we can do that from our mind, right? That is why we have learned this additional technique in our previous session. If we didn't follow that addition technique, and then it will be hard. Even worse if we learn other techniques in future, right? We will learn a lot of techniques in our future, right? So we have to add them together, like from left to right arithmetic technique. So 30 plus 10, that will be 40, 42 plus 7, 49. So then we have to write only 9, that 4 will be a remainder. And then after, we have to multiply that 7 times 3, that will be 21. And then the 21 will be added up with this 4. So then the answer will become as 25, right? So the final answer will be 2590, right? I'm just writing this and this only for the purpose of explanation, right? When you are doing that, you don't have to write these things. You have to process these things from your mind, and then you just have to answer those questions, right? Okay, let's practice that one. What is 31 times 31? How much is the answer? Do not obtain any pen and paper or calculate or something. Just use your brain and provide me the answer. What is 31 times 31? How much is that?
900
Yeah, 900.
907.
961.
63.
61.
963.
No, I'm just kidding you. It's not 963.
961.
961, right? We have to know the technique, right? 31 times 31. Multiply this and this. So then 1. Multiply, cross multiply this and this and this and this. So 3, 3. And then after we have to add them together. So that will be 6. And then we have to multiply this 3 and this 3. So then that will be 9, right? Simple. So what will be 22 times 22? What will be the answer? 4, 8.
484.
Okay, good. What will be 61 times 61? What will be the answer? 3, 7, 2, 1. Is it correct? I don't know. You can check it. Is this correct or not?
Correct, sir.
Okay, thank you. And what will be 45 times 45? Is this correct? 2025. Is this
Yes, sir.
correct? Okay, thank you. Okay, so like this technique, let's say we are going to calculate these two numbers, 98 times 96, right? If we are going to calculate this number, of course, we can apply that 2-digit multiplication technique that just we have learned, that one. Of course, we can apply that technique to this one as well. But if you are going to apply that technique to this category of numbers, and then that will be a problem. Why? Because it will have a lot of reminders and it will be some kind of complex, right? Let's do that. So if you are going to multiply 8 times 6, it will be 42. So, 48. So 8 will come over here and 4 will be a reminder. If you are going to multiply 9 times 6, and then it will be 54. 54 plus 4, it will be 58. Like, it's like kind of like time consuming, right? If you are going to apply that method for these numbers, it will be time consuming. So that I have another technique, another simple technique in order to get that answer within 5 seconds, right? Trust me, if we learn this technique, you can provide me the answer within 5 seconds, right? Okay, let's do that. So that the technique is not this one, right? Okay, so now we are going to multiply two numbers that are relying in between 91 and 99, right? We have to make sure that both the numbers should be within that range. Okay, if those numbers are relying on those particular range, and then we are lucky because we can apply this technique and obtain the answer quickly, right? Like this. So we are going to multiply 92 times 95. If we are going to do that, let's say these two numbers are near to 100, right? These two numbers are near to 100. So we can obtain the difference between that number and 100, right? So 92 and 100, the difference will be 8. We know that. Likewise, we have to obtain the difference between the another number and the 100. If we obtain that, and then that difference will be 5, right? Now, what we have to do is we have to multiply those differences together, right? If you multiply that differences together, the answer will become as 8 times 5, that will be equal to 40, right? So that the 40 will come over here like this. But you will say that, no, it's not the way. We have to only write that 0, and then the 4 will become a reminder. No. Only for this particular technique, we have to write whatever the answer comes, we have to write it as a 2-digit number. If you obtain 6 for this answer, you have to write it as 06. If you obtain 40 for this question, you have to write it as it is. You have to write it as 40. If we do that, and then after, what we have to do is, we have to subtract that 5 from 92. Or we have to subtract that 8 from 95, another number. We have to subtract that difference from another number, right? So we have to subtract that difference from another number, right? That's the way. So if we subtract that 5 from 92, you know the answer, that will be 87. Even if you subtract that 8 from 95, that will also become a same number. That will also become as 87. I don't know why that happens, right? Okay. So now you understand that method, and we will discuss about some examples, and then we will become master in these questions, right? I'm just writing this 8 and 5, all these things for you to explain, right? If I'm doing these things, I will not going to write anything. I will just directly provide you the answer, right? You also have to do like that. Okay. So now if you are going to multiply 98 times 98, multiply, right? So here the difference, we have to obtain 100. These are near to hundreds. So we have to obtain 100. So 98 and 100, the difference will be 2. And here, this 98 and 100, the difference will be 2. Okay, now what we have to do, we have to multiply this and this together. So then the answer will be 4, right? So that answer should be written as a 2-digit number. So then the answer will become as 04. That is very important. If you write it as 4, and then that will be the end, right? So you have to write it as 04. After that, you have to obtain this number and that difference, right? Then you have to subtract this 2 from this 98, right? 98 minus 2, how much? It will be 96. Even if you do this from this number to this number, 98 minus 2, that will also become as 96, right? So this is the answer, 9,604. Very simple. right? Let me provide you another example. This time I'm not going to write anything. So here you cannot multiply this 7 and 6, right? 7 times 6 will be 42. You cannot write like that. You have to obtain the differences. The difference will be 3, and then the difference will be 4. So 3 times 4, that will be 12, right? So 12 will become as it is. After that, we have to subtract 97 minus 4. So 97 minus 4, how much it will be? It will be 90.
93.
Right? The answer will be 9,312. I think there was a question. Who raised the hand? If you have any question, if you didn't understand anything, you can ask me question. Any question, guys? No question. Okay. Okay, that is the technique. Okay, now can anyone answer me if I ask you a question? What is 99 times 99? What will be the answer? 9,000?
9,801.
Okay, good. And what will be 97 times 97? 9,409. Is this correct? I don't know. Check it. Okay, what will be 91 times 92? What will be the answer? Difference 9 times 8, 72. 91 minus 8. How can you do that? 91 minus 8. 83. 83. So 8372 is the answer. Simple, right? Right. So if you practice these things, you have to go home and you have to write all these techniques, and you have to practice these techniques. You have to practice daily. Every day you have to obtain 10 examples like I have obtained. Right? So you have to obtain what is 95 times 96, 97 times 98. You have to obtain 10 examples, and then you have to calculate them by using your mind, and you have to practice them daily. And then after, these techniques will be familiar for you, right? So then you will use these techniques, and then after you can save your time during your exams, right? If you are writing that maths exam, and then you can save a lot of time by saving all these calculation times, and then you can use that particular time in order to think about solving that question, right? Maybe if you are writing some kind of story questions, and then you can do that, right? Okay, so in our future classes as well, we will learn a lot of techniques and the tricks and the techniques. So keep in touch with us. We are Robototec. We are providing electronic components for the students, like Arduino, sensor modules, and actuators for the students. And in future as well, we are going to start robotic classes in live as well. So if you are interested in joining the class, of course, you can join. And this maths course will be conducted up to 14th May. If you want, you can join. Our next class will be on tomorrow. That's also free. You can participate on this course is free, right? Maths course is for free, entirely free. You can share this course about your friends. You can circulate this Zoom link and the group links around with your friends, and then so that your students can also learn these things, right? So tomorrow we will have the next session on this course. Will be tomorrow 8 p.m. right? So keep in touch with us and join on time. If you didn't understand anything what we have learned so far, you can ask me questions. And then tomorrow we will learn different techniques, like multiplying the numbers more than 100, as well as multiplying the numbers ending with 5, mirror techniques, etc. Those kinds of things will be discussed on tomorrow. And then after, we will discuss about some shortcut methods in future, like how we can approach some kind of past papers in future. So those kinds of things will be discussed in future, right? Okay, it is the time for you to ask me questions, right? If you didn't understand anything what we have learned so far. Of course, you can ask me questions. Any question? If you didn't ask me question, and I will ask you question. Yeah, what is your question? Girija Venkateshwaran, what is your question? Okay, so I will ask you some questions, like, let's delete these things. Okay. So what will be 43 times 11? What will be the answer for this? Can anyone answer that? Let's have some fun. What will be the answer? Can you quickly say that? Anyone? Have you forgotten? It's very simple. We have to take this number and write it down here. And then we have to add these two numbers together. 4 plus 3, that will be 7. And then we have to write this number here. 4. Simple. Right? So then what will be 52 times 11? What will be the answer? 572. Right? And what will be 224 times 11? What will be the answer? 2464. Right? Simple. So what will be 12 times 13? Multiply these two numbers, 6, add these two numbers, 5, and multiply these two numbers, 1. Right? Likewise, what is 15 times 16? What will be the answer? 5 times 6, that will be 30, that will be 0. And then 6 plus 5, that will be 11. And then we have to add that remainder 3. So 11 plus 3, that will be 14. So 4 will come over here. 1 will be a remainder. And then 1 times 1, that will be equal to 1. And we have to add that 1. So then the answer will be 2. So then the final answer will be 240. Right? So likewise, we can play around with these things. When you go home after this class, you have to practice these things. You can write down the techniques and methods. Also, I will provide you the recorded videos for you so that you can learn from our course, right? So keep in touch with us and we will meet on tomorrow, right? So share this course and the video links for your friends and family so that they can also learn from this course, right? Thank you.